It was like a week and a half after he stopped doing what I was having him do. He was dead. That took all the wind out of my sails when it came to cancer specifically.
Some of our gifts to the world are forged in the fire at the place where we really sit with our pain and accept it and say, you know what, this is part of my journey. I cannot undo it, but what I can do is I can help someone else in their pain. You were avoiding cancer for a long time, so you're talking, you're teaching natural health, you're doing seminars locally, you're talking about it in the ways that you show up online, and but you had not been talking about cancer, and you started talking about it, and boom, your stuff just spiked. So
yeah,
talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think that too, was a big journey and maturity, for me, because we've known each other a long time, and you've seen me through so many different phases of my intensity when it came to natural or hospital or how I feel about this or that, and learning to moderate those things in a way that reaches people. The cancer thing specifically, I was so angry. I just was I'm never going to talk about it again. I'm not. And then, I did a TikTok on it, and I just had a frank conversation, with my audience about cancer and some of the things that are in society that promote cancer, basically. Things we're eating, the things we're wearing, the things we're not doing that we should be doing. It took off, and it was one of my highest views at the time. And for me, it was also one of those things where it's you have within you, regardless of what other people think, you have within you this knowledge and this understanding. And it's not so much that you have to be all in on cancer and just natural, but you have to let out what you know in a way that reaches people and doesn't get you banned. There's that moderation, because being online, there's so many things that you can and can't say, and ban you and all these kinds of things. And that made me angry too. Sometimes I was just saying stuff just to be I just want to get it out, and I don't care if, yeah. But all of that to say, it's just a maturity that's been over time, where it's been I have to accept my training, I have to accept what I know, and I have to package it in a way that really resonates with people and starts in a simple, non-threatening way. Oftentimes my anger has wanted to be threatening. I've wanted to be threatening to the system and all these types of things. Conspiracy theories are have always been my jam, and but no, you cannot speak that language and hope to get anywhere. I'm trained as a nurse for a reason. I've spent 20 years in the hospital for a reason, and I cannot just cut that out and ignore that piece of who I am. And so instead, I've been trying to learn how to blend the two, and not in a way that compromises, but in a way that speaks the language of people that all they know is the hospital. All they know is aspirin, Tylenol, and ibuprofen, lisinopril, and metoprolol, all these, that's their language. And so in order to speak that language, many naturopaths have trouble. They don't have the training. They don't have the understanding of even the body like a nurse does. And so it's really been valuable to be able to speak the language, to know how to say even the words metoprolol, and to be able to resonate with people that are still there, wanting to get off these things, and share with them how easy it is, and how simple the remedies are that God has put in our kitchen. Yeah, it's just been a journey, man. It's really, really been a journey, and a long journey, not just these last few months when I've been taking off. It's been, and I think you were reminding me of that. It's not just a coincidence. It's been a really long journey of learning, to be not only moderate in how I speak, but consistent in saying the simple things.
So interesting hearing your story because you're not discarding any of it. Which some people do. Like you're like, oh, this is bad, this is good. Or you're like, hey, I'm going to bring together all of who I am, and I'm going to celebrate all of it, and I'm going to also filter what needs to be filtered. And I think that, it takes time, it takes maturity, it takes patience, a lot of things. There's a refinement process through fire oftentimes. But my observation here, especially around the cancer, is there are times I think some of our gifts to the world are forged in the fire.
Absolutely.
And they are at the place where we really sit with our pain and accept it and say, you know what, for pushing, this is part of my journey, and if any, I cannot undo it, but what I can do is I can help someone else in their pain. And the language, it's interesting to hear you say, like, hey, there was another dimension that I did not understand, but I cannot forget because it is so imprinted on my life now, like with what happened with your father. And so, and there's things that are like that with me, that it's just like, there are things that I could never possibly forget just because of how painful it was. And so when you're able to sit with that and you begin to understand the language of pain, that's what people respond to.
Yeah.
Because it's like, when that's all you can think about, when cancer or when the high pain points of our lives are really kind of bullying us, like that's the only thing we can hear. Like it's like being starving and trying to do anything, or being exhausted and trying to like think or read a book. Man, all I want to do is sleep. And when people are in pain, that's all they want to do is alleviate the pain. So when you can come in and speak their pain point and say, hey, I've been there and I know what it's like and I can help, and you have that unique insight, like you're bringing together all of who you are. And I think that's beautiful, but I know it's been a painful process to get there. And I applaud you for pushing through that.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't easy, and it's like, I can't even take credit. I can't even like look at a point in my journey where I was like, I got this, I'm going to just push through. Like, I have had so many ups and downs, and it's just been basically God grabbing me at the bottom and just dragging me up by, I'd say, the lock of my hair, but I don't really have hair, but just like dragging me up against my will sometimes. And Annie, my wife, just being there, and every time I messed up, just saying, all right, let's keep going, I guess, but yeah, to your point, like, it's just, there's so many experiences. Even when I was at the bottom, there's so many things that I've experienced and felt that now, when it comes to people that I'm helping with their physical, I can look in their eyes and I know it's not just about their physical, and that's when I'm able to talk about the other parts that are also equally as simple. Dealing with stress is one of the biggest things that I run into with people. High blood pressure, the number one cause for high blood pressure is stress. And the number one cause for stress is past pain. It's not your job. It's not traffic. It's not, your
body keeps the score.
Body keeps the score, man. And when we don't deal with it, it becomes a snowball.
I really appreciate you being here. And if this added value to your life in any way, please consider liking, sharing with somebody that you know will benefit from it, and following for more. See you next time.